Hello, Internet. It's Blacklight Attack, and I have a very special guest with me today. This is Chobi. She's 11 years old. She's an 11 kill streak, and she's a German Shepherd. She loves treats, and she loves free for all. And I love free for all. I have a couple games of free for all, and we don't listen. I kick some ass. Yeah. There's a couple games, so I'm not going to do the loadout. It's going to be in the description. So I hope you guys enjoy. Take it easy. What's up, Internet? It's Blacklight Attack, and here's a little bit of free-for-all for you. This game was really awesome because I jumped in 11 kills down and still ended up taking a pretty landslide win. And the other one is just a good game with the MP5K, which is really my favorite weapon right now. So I hope you guys enjoy this. I decided to preface it with Chobi, with my dog, because this is actually going to be a serious episode. It's a bit of a sad story time, but I think it really explains who I am and where my personality as it is came from. And I wanted to preface it with some cuteness, and nobody's cuter than my Chobi girl. So I guess it's better if we just launch into it, or I guess we should start at the beginning. When I was 6 years old, I was born originally in Philadelphia, and when I was 6 years old, we moved out to the suburbs. And the first day I was here, there was a knock at my door, and that's when I met my best friend. His name was, let's call him Todd. It's not his real name because I don't want to use his name here, so let's call him Todd. And Todd had been drug over by his mom to say hi to the new neighbors, and from then on we were best friends. And we grew up together. We did everything together. We went through all the phases together. We spent every day being best friends, and our lineup of friends constantly shifted and changed, but Todd was always the constant. And I have friends from back in those days still. So shout out to Chachi if Chachi's watching this. Also, again, not his real name, but everybody knows him by Chachi. Chachi's still a very good friend of mine to this day. But Todd was my original and best friend. We grew apart a little bit during our high school days. I ended up going to public school, and his parents forced him to go to Catholic school. And so we couldn't spend like every day together. We didn't see each other at school every day like we used to. But it wasn't really a big deal. We still kept in contact. We only lived right down the road from each other, like within walking distance. So, so we saw each other all the time. And when I was in high school, there was this girl, and yeah, it's going there, guys. It's going there. I'm sorry. And this girl for a very long time had a very big interest in me, and I had absolutely no interest in her. And I didn't really have I didn't and still do not to this day have great success with the ladies. I think I'm good socially. It's just I think right now, I think it's the fact that I don't get to meet anybody, but I'm getting sidetracked. So this girl, she liked me for a very long time, and I never reciprocated those feelings, and as a result, I ignored her because I never wanted to give her the impression that I liked her back. And sometime around winter break in my senior year, I started to realize, well, I've gone almost all high school without having a serious relationship. I'd had a couple that lasted a few weeks here and there, but absolutely nothing that that was significant in my mind. So eventually I at a friend's house I reciprocated those feelings, and from then on we were a couple, and things went on pretty great for a couple months. And I was very shy. I was very apprehensive to do anything new or try anything that I wasn't already completely familiar with. I was very reserved, and I wasn't really a funny person. Actually, everybody here kind of knows me as a funny guy, which was not at all what I was back in the day. And when we were growing up, Todd was always the funny guy. He was hilarious. And if you ask my friends, they'll tell you that I've always been funny, but friends can always make you laugh. I mean, it takes an entirely different set of skills and way of looking at life to make random strangers laugh. And so things were going great with me and my girlfriend at the time. I also won't mention her name here, but high school always comes to an end. We spent a great summer together and everything, but right around the end of the summer, things started to go sour, and we tried to keep it together. We ended up going off to college, still a couple, and that was probably the worst idea because we were really not in a good relationship anymore. I think what happened was she had some kind of buyer's regret where she chased me for the longest time, and I always ignored her. And I think that's what she actually liked about me. A lot of girls will be instantly attracted to you if you just completely ignore them for some reason. And once I started dating her, I absolutely fell head over heels in love with her. And when I started to show her attention and affection, I think she kind of freaked out. The girl had a lot of problems with that. So we ended up breaking up not long into college. She was going to an art school in New York, and I was going to this shit little town school called Bloomsburg. And God, I'm sorry if you go to Bloomsburg. I'm sorry, but Bloomsburg fucking sucks. I was there, and I was there. She was over in New York, and we just couldn't hold it together with the long distance thing. And we broke up, and I was absolutely heartbroken about it, as tends to happen. And it was a year. That summer after we broke up, she said something to me at a party that while she had been drinking, that she really thought that I would make somebody happy, and I was such a wonderful boyfriend, and someday I'm going to make somebody really happy, and she really wished it could be her. And I was thinking, well, why can't it be you? Why can't it be you? So I chased her for a whole year, just trying to convince her that that we belonged together, which was fucking retarded because I wasn't even happy in the relationship before. It was more of fear of change than anything else. And she basically, I think inadvertently, very much led me on with that statement. And I chased her for a whole year, and it was a whole year after that I finally gave up. And even though I had given up, those scars still were fresh because I was an idiot and kept reopening them, trying to get back together with her. So, fast forward to the next summer, and I'm at a party, and I'm at a party at Todd's house actually, and everybody's been drinking. I'm a little bit tipsy, and all of a sudden everybody's passed out or has left, and the only people that are left in the house are me, Todd, and my ex-girlfriend. And at this point, I'm thinking, okay, maybe this can work. Maybe we can be friends. I'm not feeling any attraction to her. I know it's not going to work. And even though I felt, even though I would not say at that point that I was over it, but I was no longer interested in pursuing her romantically. So we're the only people left in the house, and suddenly they disappear, and I have no idea where they went. And I hear them both laughing up from Todd's room. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm a little bit drunk, so I'm not really putting two and two together. And I'm like, okay, maybe they have some more booze in there. Maybe they're playing a game or something. And like an idiot, I just walked right into his room without knocking or anything, and she was on top of him. And I was not ready for that shit. Not Todd. No way, not no how. So I was absolutely devastated. I thought I was ready for that, and it's absolutely not. I was not whatsoever. So Todd, the next day is driving us home. That was like the worst night of my life, just sitting there contemplating what I had just seen. But the next day, Todd's driving us home, and I just said to him, I said to the both of them. First off, she sat there and pretended to text on her phone the entire time because she didn't want to look at me. And I was sitting there trying to hold it together. And I said to Todd, I said, if you guys are going to become an item, then I'm okay with that. I wasn't. I wanted to convince myself I was. But I said, I'm okay with that. I just want you guys to be open with me. I want you guys to let me know what's going on. And about a week later, I find out, not from Todd, not from my ex-girlfriend, but from a Facebook message that they are now in a relationship. And I was absolutely destroyed. And what ended up happening was he then proceeded to only see her. He wouldn't return my phone calls. He would barely hang out with his friends, especially me. And he was just no longer part of my life. And it culminated into this like the final straw for me. He went back to school. I had dropped out by now, and he went back to school, and I knew he was home on Thanksgiving break, and I was sitting there working at GameStop when I see I had a missed call from him. So I texted him, and I was like, oh, sorry, man, I'm at work. I didn't see your call. I'm sorry I missed your call. What's up? And he texts back, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to call you. So that was it. I called my other friend. I took a break at work. And it was just something I couldn't deal with anymore. I called my other friend, and I was like, it's it. I'm fucking done with him. He is no longer part of my life. We're done. And up until before that, Todd and I had been best friends for 15 years. I'm only 22, and at the time I think I was 20 or 21. And 15 years was the better part of my life. It didn't even feel like losing a friend. It felt like losing my right arm. It was just something that was so intrinsically a part of my life that all of a sudden losing it was like, well, what the hell do I do now? So now I mentioned before that I was never the funny guy growing up. Todd was. And now that Todd was no longer part of my life, I found that I was without a funny guy in my group of friends. Everybody's funny. All your friends can always make you laugh, but there's no class clown. And once I was able to get over this like crippling depression that I went through for about a year afterwards, I decided, I made it a conscious effort, if that makes any sense, to now be funny. I tried to be clever, I tried to be witty, and it actually worked. This thing kind of clicked in for me, where I had never really tried it before, and it was, I guess, a part of my brain that I just never tapped in attempting humor, and it ended up working quite well. I literally just made a conscious decision to be funny. Now, I don't think I'm George Carlin or Andrew Dice Clay or anything, but I can make people laugh, and that's a pretty damn good feeling, especially now that I'm without that person in my life anymore. And I would absolutely like people to keep in mind, this is not a pity party. I'm not telling you the sad story so I can hear, oh, poor Blacklight, you've had such a hard life. This is a pretty common situation that happens to a lot of people, and I accept that. I'm just also saying that this is what happens. This is what happened to try to make the guy I am today. So I still have that modest person inside of me that I've grown up with, but at some point I just kind of turned on this funny switch, and that's where I am now. And even this story actually did have a very happy ending. I have a new best friend, Vin, who is more loyal than anyone you'll ever meet. Such an absolutely great guy, totally homo, and I'm more confident. It's basically, after losing Todd as a best friend, I feel like nothing could ever hurt me again, because if somebody does go out of their way to try to hurt me, it's kind of like, do you have any idea what I've been through? What can you do that you think could possibly hurt me? And as a result, I've grown more confident, and I'm more likely to just go up to people that I don't know and talk to them, or just go out of my comfort zone and try something I'm not familiar with. I'm still a little bit shy and a little bit reserved, but I would dare say that if that never happened to me, I would not be here right now. I would not be making YouTube videos, because that would be way too far out of my comfort zone. So it's not a movie happy ending. I didn't all of a sudden realize that this other girl with glasses is actually my true love, and that's the real thing that happened. I'm still single to this day. I've had dates and short-term, short relationships that didn't last since then, but nothing that ever stuck. I'm still single, but that's fine. I mean, it's not fine. I definitely would like to have a girlfriend, but it is difficult meeting people with my work schedule. It's definitely what I blame it on. It's not for lack of courage in going up to and approaching women and trying to strike up conversations. But that's basically what created the guy I am today. So if you guys have any comments about this, if you guys have any feedback or any stories that you'd like to relate, I would love to hear them. Just remember that even though some really shitty things can happen to you in your life, sometimes you can end up all the better for it. And that's really what happened to me. So I thank you guys for listening to my story. I hope I didn't shed any tears. And if anybody has anything to chip in, I would absolutely love to hear it. Till next time, this has been Black Light Attack. Take it easy.